Welcome to the next framework in engineering. This week, the artificial intelligence landscape has been blown wide open with tectonic shifts that will redefine the next decade. Brace yourselves, because today's menu is packed. We'll kick things off by analyzing Meta's masterstroke, closing a historic multi-billion-dollar double deal to corner the chip market, partnering simultaneously with two rival giants, AMD and Nvidia. Right after that, we'll dive into the ethical and military clash of the year, how Elon Musk's company xAI has ousted Anthropic at the Pentagon, and we'll break down the revolutionary technical architecture of its new model, Grok 4.2 beta. And to top it all off, I'll bring you a quick but hard-hitting lightning round with the latest news, Anthropic's war against Chinese labs over data theft, Gemini's new native music integration, and a chilling macroeconomic report on how AI is already freezing hiring in the service sector. Let's head straight to the epicenter of the earthquake. The race for artificial intelligence, as we well know, is not a 100-meter sprint. It's a marathon of pure endurance. And in this race, infrastructure is the oxygen. Meta has just slammed its fist on the table, leaving the markets stunned by closing a monumental $100 billion deal with AMD. We're talking about an astronomical figure to acquire 6 gigawatts of AI processing power over the next 5 years. Mark Zuckerberg has decided he won't rely on market fluctuations, and to secure the supply, Meta will buy as many of AMD's MI540 series chips as necessary to power its massive data centers. But the financial genius of this pact goes beyond simply buying hardware. As part of the deal, AMD has granted Meta a series of warrants that will allow it to buy up to 160 million AMD shares at a symbolic price of 1 cent each, provided certain milestones are met. In practice, this means Meta could become the owner of 10% of AMD's equity. The market reaction was swift. AMD's shares skyrocketed by 15% in pre-market trading after the news leaked, although curiously, Meta's own stock barely reacted, remaining flat with a slight dip. This move is vital to understanding where we're heading. Meta was already AMD's second largest customer, a company that reported $34.6 billion in sales last year, and which, with this additional push of $10 billion in extra short-term sales, will drastically accelerate its efforts to gain ground on its arch-rival. AMD's own CEO, Dr. Lisa Su, highlighted her pride in expanding the strategic alliance to take AI to an unprecedented scale. And Zuckerberg made it clear, the ultimate goal is to offer what he calls personal superintelligence. But here comes the fascinating twist. Meta hasn't just married AMD. In a brutal diversification move, the company has simultaneously signed a multi-year strategic alliance with Nvidia, the company led by Jensen Huang. Meta will supply itself with millions of current and future Nvidia chips, including the highly coveted Blackwell GPUs, the next generation of Rubin chips, and even proprietary ARM-based CPUs. Meta's head of global infrastructure, Santosh Janardhan, sums it up perfectly. Their ambitions are sky high. Meta is building hyperscale data centers aimed at the training and inference of gigantic models, securing the hardware even before it is mass-produced. This reflects a profound structural shift in the tech industry. It's no longer enough to have the best software engineers or the most efficient algorithms. The real war is for the control of the physical hardware that makes that mathematical magic possible. Artificial intelligence is no longer a promising lab experiment. It has become a fundamental strategic infrastructure, on par with the internet or the power grid. However, this massive concentration of chips and energy in the hands of a few giants has consequences. The development of these models demands vast amounts of energy, water, and advanced memory. If manufacturers like AMD or Nvidia prioritize the production of hyper-profitable AI chips, we could face shortage cycles in other essential components. This means that memory or processors for our everyday devices could become more expensive, directly hitting your wallet when buying a smartphone, signing up for a cloud service, or paying for a digital subscription. Leaving hardware behind, let's move to the arena of software, ethics, and geopolitics, because what has happened between the Pentagon, Anthropic, and xAI belongs in a corporate espionage movie. Recently, the U.S. Department of Defense demanded that Anthropic, creators of the Claude model, and until now the only model approved for classified military systems, allow the use of its AI for all lawful purposes. This legal phrasing opened the door wide to mass surveillance and the development of autonomous weapons. Dario Amodei and Anthropic's leadership, staunch defenders of AI safety, flatly refused to cross that red line. Faced with this refusal, the Pentagon threatened to label Anthropic a supply chain risk. And this is where Elon Musk enters the scene. His company, xAI, didn't hesitate to exploit the legal and ideological vacuum, signing the agreement to integrate its Grok model into military systems. This episode highlights a friction that will define our era, the head-on collision between corporate ethical alignment policies and the cold demands of military application. But what is truly thrilling for us, engineers and tech enthusiasts, is the secret weapon xAI has brought to the table, the launch of Grok 4.2 beta. This model marks an absolute milestone in foundational model design. While the industry was obsessed with creating increasingly gigantic monolithic models and the so-called slow thinking, where the model generates thousands of hidden reasoning tokens before responding sequentially, xAI has flipped the script. Grok 4.2 beta implements a mixture of agents architecture supported by a highly optimized base model of 500 billion parameters. Instead of processing sequentially and generating latency bottlenecks, Grok opts for multi-specialist inference parallelism. It orchestrates the parallel execution of multiple inferences in fractions of a second, sharing intermediate states without latency penalties, and supporting a massive context window of 2 million tokens. To understand this brilliance, let's break down the topology of its native 4-agent team, each trained with multi-agent reinforcement learning for a hyper-specific role. First, we have Agent Grok, which acts as the captain or system coordinator. Its job is to receive your prompt, break down the initial task, distribute the subtasks to the rest of the team, and synthesize the final response by evaluating the weights of everyone's contributions. The second fundamental pillar is Agent Harper, the researcher and validator. This agent connects to the outside world by executing asynchronous real-time web searches and extracting massive data directly from the X social network API. Its mission is to cross-reference the data generated by its peers with live empirical sources, managing to reduce model hallucinations by a spectacular 65%. In third place, Agent Benjamin comes into play. This is the logical and mathematical profile of the team. It completely lacks creativity, but its neural weights are finely tuned for deduction, code generation, physics simulations, and most importantly, detecting logical fallacies in the intermediate reasoning steps of the rest of the team. Fourth, and perhaps the most fascinating for the group's dynamics, is Agent Lucas, the creative and contrarian. Lucas acts as the internal devil's advocate. Its function is to generate divergent thinking, prevent groupthink, and optimize the user experience by evaluating the tone of the response. When you submit a prompt, it doesn't follow a single linear path. An internal debate is unleashed at the speed of light. Lucas and Benjamin propose solutions from opposite angles. Then Harper generates friction by contrasting those ideas against real-time reality. Finally, Captain Grok seeks consensus. If there are discrepancies, they force recalculations in milliseconds. This redundancy makes the model incredibly resistant to semantic attacks. If you try to trick the model by forcing it to adopt a malicious persona, the creative agent might fall into the trap, but the logical agent, isolated from semantic emotion, will block the security breach. All of this, moreover, is fueled by xAI's defensive moat, exclusive real-time access to X's massive data firehose, allowing the AI to recalibrate its responses based on community notes or live debunking before the information even reaches traditional search engines. It's a giant leap toward collaborative artificial general intelligence. Now, let's shift gears. Let's get into the quick roundup of news that completes the picture for this intense week. We kick off this lightning round with the data Cold War. Anthropic, the same company that said no to the Pentagon, has formally accused Chinese labs DeepSeek, Moonshot AI, and Minimax of conducting industrial-scale campaigns to steal its technology. According to Anthropic, these companies are using a technique called model distillation, where a smaller model learns by imitating the patterns of a larger, more complex text model like Claude. They report that over 16 million fraudulent exchanges have been generated through 24,000 fake accounts organized into what they call Hydra clusters. The fear for Anthropic and competitors like OpenAI, who have also warned the US Congress about DeepSeek's tactics, is that these distilled models lack safety guardrails, making them easier for authoritarian regimes to use for cyber attacks or bioweapons. Jumping over to Google, they've just made a spectacular leap in multimodality by integrating native audio and music generation into the Gemini interface, powered by their acoustic model, Lyria 3. Now you can generate 30-second music tracks with vocals, lyrics, and cover art from a simple text prompt, an image, or a video. The revolutionary part here is ditching the text bottleneck. Previously, an AI had to translate a video into words to then make music. Now, Gemini uses cross-conditioning. The pixels and movement of the video directly condition the tempo and energy of the music within the latent space. Although platforms like Suno V4 or Udio remain superior for professional producers due to their long-term coherence and studio quality, Google's architecture lays the groundwork for something incredible in the short term, generating real-time sound effects and soundscapes for video games and immersive realities, reacting millisecond by millisecond to what's happening on screen. And we finish off with a dose of macroeconomic reality. If you were wondering when we were going to notice the real impact of AI on employment, the answer is today. An economic report from this February confirms an unprecedented collapse in customer service hiring, driven directly by the adoption of models like GPT-5 and Gemini 3. Job openings have plummeted to all-time lows, breaking through the support levels of the 2008 crisis and the pandemic. But take note, we are in phase 1. We aren't seeing abrupt mass layoffs, but rather a silent freeze. Companies are operating in a balance of low hiring and low firing. Simply put, when someone leaves, they aren't replaced. That work is delegated to AI agents. The case of the company Klarna set the precedent. They reduced their workforce by 22% through natural attrition, while their AI managed the equivalent of 700 humans' work. This has caused a 15% drop in junior employment, closing the entry door to the labor market for young people, while senior positions hold steady. AI is absorbing all the growth and support demand without companies spending an extra dime on payroll. And that concludes this week's Deep Dive. We've seen how giants are buying their weight in silicon, how architectures are mutating into teams of agents debating at the speed of light, and how the global economy is beginning to rewrite its rules in real time. Before we sign off, I want to leave you with a question to debate in the comments. Do you think Meta's strategy of hoarding all available hardware will end up monopolizing the future of artificial intelligence? Or will software innovation, like Grok's multi-agent architecture, be the true key to success? Do you want more videos like this, deeply analyzing technical architectures and the economic movements of the market? Let me know your thoughts below. Subscribe if you want to keep deciphering the future with us, and see you in the next framework.